the same stupid shit over and over again. Yeah, I'm gonna put on sandals for my walk today and not bother trying to bend over and fuck with my shoes for the first bit of the day. So what was I doing the last time I was on the single leg press? I think it was, hold on. Dude, I think it was like 3 plates a side, wasn't it? No, it was heavy. It was heavy enough that I could really feel it in my hip. And it's medium stance, single leg press. I think it's almost as much weight as I was using on the double, like the two-legged low, narrow stance, which is more quad dominant, right? Then the medium stance single leg is kind of more like a hip dominant. So, yeah, you can set the range of motion on this leg press too, so that you don't go into spinal flexion, right? You just go into basically hip flexion. Obviously if you go too deep on a leg press, your lumbar, like basically your hips bottom out, and then where are you getting that last bit of range of motion from? It's from lumbar flexion, basically, because your lower back will have to curl in order for you to finish that movement. And so again, this is like one of the reasons why I would never advise anybody to completely bury a leg press. I and my coach have seen a lot of people be like, I'm all fucked up, I did this huge leg press set and my back and or hip is completely fucked now. And that's usually coming from leg press too heavy and or too deep. That's it, really, honestly. And so one of the things I try to look for on a leg press is the safety pins. And the safety pin is really important, right? Because you can set the leg press to a depth that isn't going to put you into spinal flexion, and you can max it out, right? And you have like that confidence and kind of backstop of like, I have something to like tap at the bottom range to let me know that I'm there. So that's a legitimate strategy. I wouldn't advise it like all the time, like permanently, but it's a good fix, especially when you're coming back from an injury, is to have some bottom, like to have a bottom range on your, like a bottom end, to have a bottom end of the range of motion that's like a hard stop on your rehab motion. Because there's two reasons for that. One, it's like a psychological thing, it's just a comfort. Two is like, what if you maxing, because I often like to max this stuff out, even in rehab, I like to not max things out, but like go as hard as possible, basically, which kind of is like almost maxing out. Going as hard as possible without going over, what do the nerds say? RPE of 8 or something like that. You leave 1 or 2 in the tank, right? So, yeah, it's nice to have that backstop, because what if something blows off? You got the backstop, it's not going to kill you, it's just going to, you're going to lose a ligament or something like that. And then, yeah, and then moving on to all the other leg exercises, like back is kind of hurting, so isolation stuff shouldn't be a problem. Like hamstring curls shouldn't be a problem. Quad leg extension shouldn't be a problem. What probably will be a problem is good mornings and hyperextensions. I did a set yesterday, and again, I'm not any worse for wear. Like, I'm still quite stiff. I actually wish I had the device. So I have to go at like super heavy, like do the motion, feel the movement, feel how it feels, go as hard as you can, and then like give the body the stimulus. But don't, no, like, okay, that was a good last top set. So for example, on the hyperextension, I was hitting like, it was at least 3 plates for like set to 12. I think I've hit 3 or 4 for, I'd have to check the logbook. Anyway, so if that was the case, well, what's my workaround here? Because my back is fucked. Well, body weight, right? So I'll do probably a couple sets of like 12 at body weight, because that's pretty safe. And I'm still doing the motion. I can still squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings. I just can't load it with a couple plates, right? So, and it'll come back faster, in my opinion, if you continue to train it as hard as you can, without going over. So today is day 5, would be day 5, April, it's not the 20th today. No, April 21st. Yeah, the back is doing quite a bit better, I'll be honest. It's not killing me as bad. I can get to my shoes again, so that's cool. And today is legs, so just in time. Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. Yeah, it feels way better on set 3. So it does get better, right? Like, that was really shifty on set 1. It was deep. It felt really intense. This would be really nice done the day before. I fucked up. I didn't do it yesterday. Anyway, we're here. This side is way easier. It doesn't hurt. There's no reason to slack though. Keep your brace tight. Pull in with this hip. Push off with this quad and this hip. Also brace your core. So brace at the abs. Pull. Load. Flex. Stretch. Press, right? Bam. It's intense. I'm getting a really intense adductor work here, actually. This is great. And here too. Oh, whew. So I'm going to call that a win. It wasn't like a personal record session. The only thing that was kind of a PR, I guess, was full stack on leg extension because usually I use another machine and it maxes out at like 220, and this one maxes out at 295. So I hit 295 for like a solid 6. Minimal pain in the right knee. Like there was some pain for sure, but like it wasn't that bad. And it's not really puffy and swollen. Behind the knee wasn't too bad today. What really hurt was surprisingly wasn't my back at all. I did the single leg press. And the thing that hurt the most is it feels like it's the left trochanteric bursa. So the trochanteric bursa is like there's a bone on the side of your hip here. And this is the good side for me. It's on the left. But there's a little sac underneath this bone that a lot of your external hip rotators insert on, and it just basically helps tendons glide over a bony prominence thing. Back thing didn't even bother me at all today. But I decided to shut her down on good mornings because I thought about stuff that my coach would say. My coach would say, sure you can. Like I could have definitely gone 225 or higher, but why risk it when I've literally just come back from a back thing that's been 5 days, right? So I think what I'm going to do is just take that as a win. I felt the muscles that I wanted to working, which was the hamstrings and the glutes. I felt the position I was getting into when I was getting underneath the bar. I felt that wedge, basically. So you get the bar far enough down your back and locked in behind the rear delts that you get what's called a good wedge position, basically. And then you fixate with the core and low back. So you brace, lock everything down, and then extend with the hips, right? So you fixate with the back and extend with the hips. So you just load into the hamstrings and the glutes. But you have to kind of like prepare and wedge to get in there. So that felt really on today. I start my 12s week on basically the following, after this legs B, after the B segment, the 6 is B, then I'm back on to 12s A. So it's 12s AB, and then it's 8s AB, and then 6s AB. I think I get 2 more rounds through everything, and then I go back to basically 5-3-1. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm a little bit nervous because I've been really problematic with the barbell, but judging how everything has been going lately and how I've been managing to get around all the issues that have cropped up, and I've had some, I'd say some pretty mild to moderate muscle strains in this last couple months, but they haven't really stopped me. Like the pec was 20 weeks ago, and that was like the final straw. I had to get a hold of my coach, and I was like, Luke, what do I do? And Luke was like, this is what I'd have you do. So he literally put that program together for me. After that, and after I kept blowing my knee up and just making poor training decisions, he kind of set me right. And the thing that I've learned the most in this last, oh God, it has been just over 20 weeks, I think. I can't remember exactly how many weeks, but it's been about 5 months. Yeah, 5, because I got a 4 left, and that would make 9 months total. So what I've learned in the last 5 months is that you don't have to train something every single week to get better at it. You can space stuff out every other week. And I reread 5-3-1, and one thing that I've taken note of rereading 5-3-1 was that there was a lot that I glazed through when I was younger, and I didn't really pay too much attention to. But the way you should methodically raise up your weights, maybe not exactly as per scheduled in 5-3-1. I'll talk to some friends about that, but I'm not sure if like 10 pounds a training cycle on lower and 5 pounds on upper is necessarily the exact best formula. But here's me trying to fuck with the program before I've even started it. But anyway, that's that, and then the spacing things out. So I'm going to do 2 heavy days in the week, and then the opposite to those heavy days. So say it's heavy deadlift, heavy bench. It's going to be speed squat, speed overhead. The next week, it's going to be regular squat, regular overhead, or heavy. And then it's going to be speed dead, speed bench. And they'll be each on their own separate day. The speed days will have more of a like filling in the gaps focus and conditioning, like whatever I can't really fit into the actual meat and potatoes days goes on the speed days. And then I may have leeway for 1 extra day of conditioning, but that's generally how training is going to look like. And things, like I said, one of the most important things I've learned is how to pivot around little issues that crop up in training when you are training as hard as possible, like the AC pain, like the biceps tendonitis, like the knee blowing up all the time, like the back going out on me, like the pec getting strained, Like the elbow, like my left elbow, like this is a lot of stuff that's happened in the last 5 months. It's pretty much like one almost something that somebody would consider like major to mild comes up every month, and I'm still feeling all of them, but they're starting to get better and better. And so like the ceiling for all these injured parts is just getting higher and higher, but I still feel the injuries. It's not like the pain has gone away or anything, but like I still feel the elbow. It's sharp pain, sharp burning pain, like pretty much every session, but it doesn't linger around. It doesn't get swollen after. So I think it's kind of like that's a green light for me. And then with the knee too, the knee is less puffy and swollen. Like that's, I think it's a little puffy. And let's check out the other one. See how much more definition though there is around the kneecap there? And then this one kind of just looks like a bit of a marshmallow. Like that's the kind of stuff I have to deal with all the time. And it is what it is, right? So I've gotten kind of used to it. And this is actually pretty good because usually it's like swollen and red, right? So this is like, it's not even red at all. And it doesn't hurt at the moment, which is great. And that was pretty much like the heaviest day that I'm going to have. And so now the next thing I'm going to have to deal with is volume, right? Because it's going to be the 12 weeks. And we just keep going, right? We just keep going and just see where it takes us. These rotations, it's not necessarily the end goal to get more weight on all of these exercises. It kind of is, but not necessarily. Like the goal is to get a good pump and to get some size on. And I think I've been succeeding with that. I haven't really actually gained very many dry pounds. I think the other day I woke up at something like 224 in the morning. So I've been bouncing between 220 and 226 in the morning. Right now I'm 224. And again, my coach said, don't force it. He said, don't be like just trying to force and cram food in you just to like push the number up. He said, when your body's ready, you will just generally slowly put on mass. And I think he's right, because what's happening, what I'm seeing on the scale is like this, the number is going further and then pulling back less. And then it's going a little bit further and then it's pulling back less. Like usually the times it goes forwards is when I don't have a lot of stress or obligation in my life, in my day-to-day life, and I'm able to focus more on my diet and my sleep. Whereas when the weight pulls back, it's like I'm working full blast. Maybe I haven't gotten to training for a couple of days. Maybe I had a couple of days where I didn't cook or eat quite enough. And then the weight pulls back to whatever, whatever the lows are, right? And I see that fluctuate in my training as well. But generally the trend is like in the right direction. So I'm okay with a bit of pullbacks because that's the part of the game. You can't go in a straight line forwards, like, and sometimes you have to make those silly mistakes so that you can learn from them, because they are valuable, right? Making mistakes in training is valuable as long as you take them for what they are and learn from them, and don't catastrophize and make them, don't let them stop you from doing what you're doing, right? Because it's just a bump in the road. Like everything is okay. Everything's going pretty well. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Legs B is done. Next thing I think I have on the list is chest B. So that'll be next. And I've swapped some things up because I'm getting ready to hit the barbell again. And again, I'm not too sure if my coach will be okay with that, but maybe I'll just do it exactly as programmed for the filming bit. I don't know. Posting on social media is weird sometimes. Anyway, I'm out.